Melbourne, Virgin Australia acknowledges the traditional owners of the land on which we fly to and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The local time is 25 minutes past 12 and it's 14 degrees outside.
Nagulburi, welcome and greetings to all my relatives in Australia and across the oceans. I wish to acknowledge the Vidigal people of this land, the traditional custodians.
Nanglina Banyalang Minyambu Jugan. I belong to Banyalang Minyambu country. Nangli Garama Banyalang Minyambu Jugan. I respect Banyalang Minyambu country. When a Janjama Amala Gunagala, Banyalang Minyambu, Gitabu Naru Jugan. Don't do no wrong around here.
The world, as we all know, is in very sick and sorry state. For me, the answer is always in the past, and it's around connection to ancestors and going right back to the connection of ancestors. Now, the ancestors from all over the planet, all over Mother Earth, cared and shared and nurtured Mother Earth and protected it.
My people lived in this country they call Australia now. We lived here. Different races, different tribes, different languages. But we were one people. We had ceremony, we had dancing, gathering, marriage ceremonies. We traveled all over this country. But we asked permission to go into someone else's land.
My wish, my dreams for a better future, for a better world is that we as human beings look at each other and not see that we're at competition with one another, but we are here on the same planet, in the same space. We need to be able to understand that without understanding each other and wanting to make sure that we all have access to clean water, good air, plentiful food, and that I think how we share and share the space, share country.
Yingala. Hello. Nangedingi. Ngayin Yurubur Ngaguyan. Nga Yurubong nga Jugan. My name is Spirit Possum, Spirit of the Night. Ngayang ngalingaji nga wajilega. Nga barakaya na guria nga wajile nga budrun. A message and a story from our Dreamtime story.
I walk in two worlds, and one of them is my family world, my indigenous world, directly from my mother and my grandmother, my aunties and my sisters. And it's a strength I walk with, a power there. But then I have to do that within the westernised world. I have to walk as an Aboriginal woman in that world, and it can be confronting for those that I share that path with.
Humanity finds itself at a juncture in time that its very existence depends on it. The notion of this way and that way, your way and my way, the right way and the wrong way, isn't serving humanity as a whole.
I'm a member of the stolen generation, and that means I'm an Aboriginal woman that was removed from my family as a baby. I was only 8 months old, and I'm one of 13 children.
You know, we've got a beautiful blue planet, and this blue planet needs us to look after it, clean up our mess. You got to clean up your backyard first, and then you got to clean up your front yard.
To these ancient lands we've come, from once, where it all began. And so we began by planting a seed. On this sacred land we breed, and growing a tree of infinite possibility. So perhaps it's time to end the division that had us on a course of collision.
Solid standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line. Right down that line. Pulikumpunka Ani to Milmel Pakatu Yantukuruka Narani Wapaka Chaparani Wapakaringani. My journey as an artist took me into First Nations Australia, into Aboriginal Australia. I felt all the hurt and the damage and the wreckage that colonisation had caused. But I found something much more resilient despite all that. Was this drive for healing, for unity of purpose, for a lot of the old people would say that our grandchildren can walk side by side together into the future.
One of the most significant moments in this history of Australia was the establishment of the ancestry of the indigenous Australians today. That ancestry was brought into sharp focus by the arrival here, or the discovery of the remains of Mungo Lady and Mungo Man.
Our task is to alleviate fear, because fear is the antithesis of love. And we need humanity to engage in love. This is a very important point. And how we deliver this is that we need to create food. Energy, of course, is primary to that. We need clean water. We need a clean and built environment that's radiation proof and actually constitutes a safe habitat for people.
We look at the James Webb and how extraordinary, it's just mind-blowing, the images that are coming back to us. And so beginning to get stepping into a new, if you like, a dreaming story that's integrating ancient wisdom and the brilliance of science that has been flooding the planet over the last, particularly the last 50 years, that with so much information, so much knowledge.
I believe that women hold the key to actually create a shift on the planet right now. A key that holds the solutions to regeneration, to balance, and to harmony. The key are inner capacities that have been laying dormant for a very long time that are now ready to be expressed and experienced.
I am very passionate about the role of mothers and their duty to bringing children into the world. And I feel that we have just so much knowledge and awareness that has not yet been discovered, I don't think, in a sharing kind of way. I think women are very powerful.
Lulu was an 80-year-old senior keeper of the sacred law, Aboriginal in the Kimberley region of Western Australia when I met him. He asked me to work with him to write, and his people, to write one book. And they were people who did not read or write. And I laughed. I said to him, "But you people don't read or write." And he laughed and he said, "No." He said, "That's what you fellas do." He said, "But we've got the original knowledge."
And one of the things that I see is importance is that connection to country. And in terms of sustainability and caring for nature, I think we can look to First Nation knowledges and connections. And for me, I look at, instead of the 3 R's of reduce, reuse, recycle, I see the 3 R's as respect, relationships, and reciprocity.
My parents, Catherine and Makasha Roski, they co-founded Hummingbird Community in New Mexico about 26 years ago. And I went to Oroville, India when I was 12 for the first time and had a relationship, and along over 3 decades, spent my first year of high school there and lived in Oroville. And going to Oroville was a life-changing experience because I saw at scale a community, people living together and pioneering the new ways of being. I said, this is what I'm interested in. I'm passionate about this.
Crystal Waters Permaculture Village is a residential eco-village in the hinterland of the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. The plan was developed in the 80s and I was lucky enough to buy into that plan. I was very excited to see that it was going to be 640 acres full of 83 residential lots and a couple of commercial lots. So a village heart, a village centre where people could have their commercial enterprises and businesses, and there'd be a cooperative that helps people with those businesses.
Living here at Crystal Waters, beginning back in 1978, living in community has been a very vital part for me, and I've learned the benefits of that. I would say that I've got 50 or 60 what I call like-minded friends here at Crystal Waters, and they're not really like-minded because they've got quite different ideas and beliefs, but they're like-minded in terms of they're good-hearted people. And we're happy to sit and talk with them, or I'm happy to sit and talk with them at any time, knowing that we do share a lot in common.
At the Climate Foundation, we've been working for the past dozen years to regenerate life in our soils and our seas. In recent years, we've partnered with Dave Holmgren and others to apply his dozen permaculture design principles to the marine environment. We call it marine permaculture. And what surprised us was how powerfully the permaculture design principles generalized to the marine ecosystems in addition to the terrestrial ones.
Today, I'd like to share my perceptions on healing and unity. Healing is a very important thing. Even more important, it needs to be understood as to how healing happens. When we're created perfectly, in a way that everything that can go wrong, the body can correct it. It comes back to attitude. I'm a medicine man. I make beautiful medicines, very high vibrational medicines. Call it the golden age elixir.
What we really have to understand is that you need to believe. First you need to believe, then you need to trust. And for me, this exploration has really opened my eyes to the magic that exists, the power of our healing capacity, the power of our truth and our knowing and our remembrance.
The future of wellness is in shifting all of the negativity, all of the fear. And the future of wellness is by doing that in vibrational frequencies that allow all the old unresolved pain and fear to automatically be shifted. Then we automatically rise into a new state of balance and wholeness and alignment.
This here is our red and near infrared light therapy. The science behind this is called photobiomodulation. They've done over 4,000 different clinical studies to determine how light affects our cells. And the reason why it does that is because we're not just physical beings, we are also electromagnetic, energetic, conscious beings.
While we have this incredible resource of nature available to us, we also have the chance to come together in new ways in working and collaborating as one. Through business, we're starting to see the opportunity to work from the grassroots up.
I've been having the honor and the privilege to meet 13th grandmother Nellie Patterson. She's the traditional custodian of Uluru, this big rock which is considered the heart center of the world, the red center.
As nature becomes, I believe, a louder and louder teacher as each day goes on, I feel like what's seeping up through us cannot be stopped, and that we are learning to listen.
All we need is love, sang John Lennon many years ago, 50 years ago. I've been very interested in the subject of love since then, and it's a complicated subject and I can't talk about it in detail. But one of the key things that are important to me is the connection of love with responsibility.
It's all about love. It's as complicated and as simple as that. It's about relationship to yourself, to each other, to the earth. It's a responsibility as human beings to take those things seriously. It might seem simple to say that all you need is love, but it is true. Making the choice to actually love yourself, each other, and the earth.
So we're, yes, on this threshold. We're at a turning of the age. We are clearly at a time of great consequence on this planet, and everyone's vision matters, everyone's action matters, every choice we make, everything is amplified because of the consequence of this moment. So we humbly go within. We go into nature. We draw upon our spiritual traditions, indigenous wisdom, faith-based traditions, spiritual, mystical resources of humanity are vast, vast beyond measure.